So we'll continue with menstrual disorders. The first disorder is dysmenorrhea. Uh, Dysmenorrhea is a very common thing. It literally means difficult monthly flow. Um, it's painful menstrual periods, and it's painful enough to be uh, limiting activities for at least one day out of every cycle. Most women get it most at least once or twice. Um, it affects up to 95% of women, um, and it's the leading cause of lost time at school and work. Um, a lot of people suffer quite a bit with this fairly benign thing. It the amount of pain and suffering and the amount of lost time really outweighs the seriousness of the pathology. Um, so, if it's primary, that means the problem is really um, in the uterus itself, in the endometrial lining itself, and uh, it's idiopathic. We don't know what causes it, but it's got to start early. So this is the dysmenorrhea that teenage girls get. Secondary dysmenorrhea comes as complications with other things, things like fibroid tumors, leiomyomas, um, scar tissue, things like that, hormonal issues. So really, when we look at primary dysmenorrhea, it's really got to do with prostaglandins, and that's why the drugs that inhibit prostaglandins, like Midol and even ibuprofen, which is a prostaglandin inhibitor, seem to help. Uh, so, so what happens is the prostaglandins are produced locally. They're produced in the uterus walls themselves, and it causes an inflammation and causes pain. Uh, and then the smooth muscle contractions, the cramping, exacerbates that pain, and that that cycle goes on, right? And it starts right at the beginning of the menstrual cycle. It really happens when the arteries spasm uh, to start the menstrual flow. Uh, when the uterus contracts like that, then what happens is that blood can't get to the deeper parts of the uterus, and so there is a problem with ATP and oxygen, uh, and almost rigor can happen, where it's almost spasm. Um, Another problem is that smooth muscle doesn't have any sarcoplasmic reticulum, so there's no storage of calcium within smooth muscle, but it still uses calcium to trigger um, contraction. And so if there's a shortage of calcium because it's not being delivered, then that can lead to a real exacerbation of this. Oftentimes, this spasm can be so bad that uh, the ligaments, the round ligament and the the broad ligaments that suspend the uterus, can actually get irritated. And the, I was teaching this one time, and one of the girls in the class related a story, and she actually says, she claims that when it would happen, she could literally feel the insertion of those ligaments on her abdominal wall. Uh, you have to believe her. Now, it's exacerbated by the stress of it coming. So uh, a lot of especially younger girls are very stressed by, oh my God, my period is coming in a couple of days and I'm going to be missing school and it's going to be awful, and then it becomes self-fulfilling. It is awful because of it. This because the stress increases prostaglandin release. It increases a lot of, there's a physiological reaction to stress, and stress makes everything worse. And being stressed about it being worse will make it worse. Um, so the secondary is, like I said, it's fibroids, STDs, endometriosis, that kind of thing. Uh, Probably the later onset ones, the secondary ones, endometriosis is probably one of the bigger causes of it. So it's anything that people report. Uh, some report it to be dull, some report the pain to be sharp, but it is pain nonetheless, and it's cramping. Um, Sometimes some people get it for the first day, maybe 2 days, and then it backs off. Uh, because of the irritation and because of the stress, it often leads to headaches and nausea. People become sympathetic, and that shuts down the blood supply to the digestive system. It can lead to nausea, diarrhea. Um, if it's caused by endometriosis, then there are going to be symptoms to the endometriosis that will overlap with the symptoms of dysmenorrhea. So dysmenorrhea is the diagnosis is made on history, but you have to rule out the underlying causes for secondary things, and maybe treat them. Um, Using a laparoscope if it's endometriosis, looking for fibroid tumors, checking for infections, STDs, that kind of thing. So the big thing is heat and antiprostaglandins. So that ibuprofen is the big one. A lot of times, a lot of young women who have primary dysmenorrhea get put on birth control to help control that, and it works. If there are structural problems, if there's endometriosis, you might have to have surgery. Uh, a lot of alternative methods are proposed. Uh, there's It's probably pretty big business at trying to advise women, because it's really basically half the population of North America has this at some point. So there's a lot of claims made out there, about diet and exercise and you name it. Some of it works. Some of it works for some people and not other people. I guess it's all an experiment with the individual. Massage is probably not welcome. I don't think you're going to do any damage, but people that I know that suffer from this, including family members, probably don't want to be on a massage table. Anyways, they're fairly irritable and uncomfortable, and they probably won't end up on your table during that period. And when they're not menstruating, when they're not having it, then everything is pretty normal. It's not like it's like an affliction that hits only monthly.